Hi everyone, welcome to the final weekly briefing before the spring bank holiday break. I hope all is well. A few bits of news this week and a little update on where we are regarding COVID restrictions and the variant and infection rates and the like from a school perspective. Okay, first thing is good piece of news. We can start to bring in our music teacher once again for one-to-one music lessons. We've put an advert in the weekly news this week. Paul Lee is able to offer private piano lessons once again. He was able to do this for a long period of time before COVID first hit us, and we are able to safely open this again after the holidays or as soon as people take up the offer. It's £9.50 per session, and Paul's phone number and website is on the paper weekly news. So you'll need to go and have a look at that for his contact details, but you need to contact Paul Lee directly with a request for music sessions, and he can offer those and set those up. You would have to pay the full cost yourself. It's not something that school pay for, but if you want to contact Paul, then he's able to facilitate those within school once again. Contact details on the paper weekly news. Please have a look at those. Next thing is we had our first meeting about a week ago now of Mayfield Together. Brand new concept in the way we look at partnership within our community, staff, parents, families, and the way in which we want to work together. We did have the first initial chat way back in February 2020, but of course that just ground to a halt because of the COVID situation. So really it was another fresh beginning when we met last week. We refreshed our 3 goals and some of the things that we want to do short term. The first of them is what we call a tabletop sale, which is essentially a jumble sale come car boot sale on a tabletop. And we're looking at doing that on Saturday the 3rd of July. Now there is a flyer that is coming out today with the weekly news, and there is also a separate Mayfield Together newsletter that is coming out as well. Quite a lot for you to look at over the holidays, and it tells you all about that event, how to join it, when it's on, how to come in as a customer, how to hire a stall, who to contact. It's all on that flyer. Please take a look at it. But in summary, the tabletop sale is Saturday 3rd of July, and it's for 4 hours, 10:30 to 2:30 on the Saturday. And if you're interested in having a stall, a tabletop, and the small surrounding area around it, then it's £10 to do that, and then you bring the items yourself on the day from home, you set them up, you sell them, you take home 100%. The whole amount that you make is yours. All you do is pay £10 on arrival to us. But we need to know how many tabletops we need. So in order to reserve a table, you need to contact Helen Lamb, who's a member of the Mayfield Together group, and Helen's contact number is on the flyer. And if you contact her at any point from now until Wednesday the 30th of June, then she will reserve a tabletop for you, and then you would simply pay upon arrival. And that's how it works really. And the school will be open on that Saturday from 9 AM for stall holders to set up, and we'll see how we go. Now what we'll do is obviously we're going to be guided by restrictions. At this point we've made it Saturday 3rd of July because as it stands we're hoping that the 21st of June will see those restrictions disappear, and therefore we can do that. But we are planning to be able to do this indoors and outdoors, and we may change arrangements based upon the COVID restrictions at the time. So as we always say, everything is COVID dependent. Hence why we'll say you would pay on arrival for your table. You just make your verbal reservation to Helen Lamb, but you do need to reserve your position before the day. Have a look at the flyer, and it's the first of the Mayfield Together fundraising events, although fundraising is just one aspect of this wider Mayfield Together work. So have a look at that newsletter, have a look at the tabletop sale flyer, have a look at the weekly news, and contact Helen Lamb if you'd like to reserve your table on the day for the tabletop, come car boot, come jumble sale style. But you don't bring items into school beforehand, you bring your items for your tabletop and you sell them on the day. And it's open to customers, free entry from 10:30 to 2:30. And we're hoping that we'll be able to do refreshments as well during that time. Just on the Mayfield Together news, take a closer look at the newsletter. We've done a short summary in there, just headlines only of what we talked about last week. It's the beginning of something new. It is not a parent-teacher fundraising association. It is not that. It doesn't work like that. It's much wider than that. And there'll be many other things that come under the Mayfield Together banner. Fundraising events are in there, and that's one of the 3 core intentions we have for the group. But there's so much more to come with that in the months and years ahead. And we put some initial events on that newsletter. So take a look at that. And as I say, we start with the tabletop sale. Hopefully, fingers crossed, COVID dependent, in the coming few weeks. So next week, of course, important news. We're not here. It's the spring bank holiday. We finished. Today's Friday, the 28th of May. And we finish today at the usual time and head off for 9 days to enjoy, I think, an important break. I think it's coming at a good time with the way just infection rates are in the local area. I think 9 days of a bit of a circuit breaker anyway isn't a bad idea with all things as they are. And then we're back on Monday the 7th of June for the final half term of the academic year. So that leads me nicely into some COVID affected updates here and there. One such thing was the Roll of Honour, which is our highest accolade that a child can receive in school, chosen by their class teacher to represent their class as the example, standout person morally, socially in class during the last half term. We were able to invite families in for the first of them, but the last 2 we haven't been able to do that at all. And we were hoping that we could get families in some form to some sort of isolated ceremony. Well, what we've done is I've moved that back for a few weeks, just as things are as they are at the moment locally, infection rates, seeing how they go. So I've moved that back a few weeks because I would like to invite those families in to see their child receive that Roll of Honour award. So I've just moved it back a little bit, just to give ourselves a little more breathing space to see if we can get people in to celebrate, which will be lovely. It will be lovely to do that. Just some further sort of COVID-19 restriction updates. I have a plan ready around how we can get the start and finish times back to normal, how we can just open up that playground a little bit more. But I'll be honest, we're just not there yet with it. Every time I think we're getting close to being able to loosen things a bit, then we see what we see in the news this week. And I am being cautious at the moment. And the guidance from LCC is clear that we really, right now, we should keep things tight as they are. I think schools are proving to be that vector for transmission. I think Dr. Harris talked about it on the TV yesterday, that vector for transmission, which I think unions and teachers have said for a long time. I think that's proving to be the case. So I'm being particularly careful at the moment about relaxing anything. And that includes the class bubbles as well. I would like to open up the bubbles at least to year groups, but I'm not going to do that yet. I need to keep things tight at the moment. And as a result, that's stopping us introducing the after-school clubs programme, which we've got ready and we want to do, but we need it open to more than class bubbles for it to be efficient and for it to work. So I'll be honest, the club situation looks like we're just going to carry it on now to September and pick it up from there. But what I want to state is that the plans are there. The plans are there for everything, but we're not going to share or launch them until we know we can safely do so. There's no point telling you something that can't happen, but I want to make it clear that those plans are there, but we're sensibly just holding those back. It also is with reference to things like school residentials. Last January, February, we decided that we wanted to move the Year 6 residential experience from Borwick in autumn, which is a bad time for residential in September. We only get the children back in school to the end of their academic year. So we made a provisional booking for a new site for next year's Year 6, which is this year's Year 6, if you know what I mean. And then COVID emerged. And as a result, what we've done is we held back on any news about it. But obviously now there's no way we're going to be able to get any sort of residential in with all the restrictions that I have to try and jump through. In fact, I wouldn't get permission right now to be able to do that. We can do local day trips, which we've done, but we won't get the residential in. So that's where we sit with that, and that's why we've said nothing on it really. But again, the plans are there. We're ready to share them. But what is the point in sharing something that's not going to happen? So unfortunately, this year's Year 6 will be unable to go in a residential, and we'll hopefully be able to pick that up next summer with next year's Year 6. So you can see there's lots of plans. It's all in place. We'll share them as they come through, but we have to be guided by what we're able to do. And like many head teachers, I can't press buttons too quick. I have to be extra cautious, and I'll be over safe if I need to be. So fingers crossed that even if infection rates rise, they don't rise dramatically. And the key to it, of course, is that it doesn't develop into serious illness and hospitalisation, which I think is key to the government strategy. And we can eventually move things forward. In the next half term, we'll see a gradual move forward towards opening. And my last message is to talk frankly that we want you back in school. I've said this a number of times. We want you in. We want to show you what we're doing. We want you to be part of what we're doing. And when we can open those doors, we will. But I cannot do it until it is safe to do so. So it's a very frustrating time. But we just have to stick with it. So that's where we are. Have a look at the paper weekly news. It's got lots of contact numbers and the like on there. Have a look at the Mayfield Together news. All important bits and pieces. And then we'll see you back in school on Monday the 7th of June for summer term 2 and hopefully a more positive national outlook at the same time. Take care.